Listen, anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll fight you in your back garden. Like a dumb Klitschko, I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum.
I want to unify. Is he up for the challenge? Like I said, I can clear you know, this is not a battle, this is war because I was born in this.
Why am I sitting here like a spare dick in a way? While you are sitting in your mum's spare rooms, just tickling your bollocks.
Come and see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses. Let's make the fight happen. Let's see who's the best. I know I'm the best. Are you up for the test?
I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview. What are you talking about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Negative. I'm good. I beat Polly. I left with his belt and his girl.
Fucking was too fast. But it wasn't so much about it, was just that he was so fucking fast. Fast.
Amazingly fast.
Fucking amazingly fast. I was like, I thought Freddie was in there fucking hitting me too. So.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, obviously podcast form, iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. We're going to break down all of the weekend's actions, break down the news that came out like right after the show was scheduled, so we had to readjust the show, make a new thumbnail, all that fun stuff, new headline for the show, everything, because Wilder Ortiz 2 is being rumored for a September date in LA at the Staples Center, so going to break down all of that breaking news as well, plus everything else out there in the boxing world today. We're going to talk about, break down, discuss. You can as well. 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. I am Matt the Hipster Hunter, but of course I'm joined actually today by the full panel. Yes, everyone's back from the fucking vacation in the apple orchard. We got Rob, we got Fu, everyone here. I think we were all together last week for like one day too, but like that didn't really count in my opinion because then we were like off for like 3 days after that. But we're here, we're back. This whole week we have, I think, a fucking huge list of shows we want to do and get done. Obviously it's AJ fight week, so that means it's a big fight week for us, a big week for us. So let's all get hyped for that. But anyways, digressing from all of that, dispensing all the niceties. Of course, I'm joined today by the illustrious, the one and only, the Han Solo of MCR. Second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie, Lord Eddie, Mr. Robbie Hearns. Rob, how you doing, man? How's the Hearns clan doing? It's a big week.
I've took lower risk and high reward, so we already know where I stand in this situation.
How you doing? I'm all right. Yeah, good to be back with Fu as well. The trio, the three amigos. Shall I do the dance? No, I won't do the dance. Yeah, good to be back. Obviously, Joshua Fight Week. That's what I'm talking about. Looked like a hell of a turnout. Don't see that in America. You don't see that kind of stuff in America. So it's good to bring over, the popping UK boxing scene over to America, show you how it's done. Supporting fighters and things like that. So yeah. Fo, how you doing, man?
Yeah, doing good, Robbie. I don't have that great little sound bite to come into, but yeah, it's a good week. Like we got Joshua fighting, obviously. Katie Taylor's going to be going for undisputed, and we had a great weekend of boxing that I actually just caught up on because it's been a little busy. But yeah, ready to chat about all of it, and obviously disappointing news later. But
I think I know what you mean by the disappointing news, but obviously, like, with what's going on, I didn't know if you meant something else. I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't know we're going there. But anyways, digressing from that, let's talk about the fights that happened this weekend first, and we get to the whole Wilder, AJ, Ortiz, Ruiz debacle, whatever it is, because, people are upset, and it is what it is, I should say this. Half of boxing fandom is upset. The other half largely doesn't care. But digress from that, let's get to the fights this weekend, which, I'll be honest, most of the boxing fan base didn't seem to care about, unfortunately. We do have some highlights of the weekend, I think. Obviously, like Jamal Herring, I think, really probably got his best career win. So that's a good thing for Jamel Herring. Plus, Devin Haney probably picking up his most emphatic win on obviously his DAZN debut. There's a lot of highlights to talk about, but let's first talk about this top-ranked card on ESPN. Jamel Herring defeating Mazuyuki Iota for the WBO World Super Featherweight title. Really good performance from Herring. I mean, one where you could see the amateur pedigree came in, where he was just able to keep Iota chasing him throughout all 12 rounds. And because of that, Herring was able to set up all of his offense first, was able to dictate the tempo, the pace of the fight, the range of the fight, the real estate of the fight. Herring was just in control throughout. Even when Iota was able to land shots, was able to get on the inside, Herring never was able or never let Iota regain control of the fight. And that, I think, was really what won him this bout. Really interested to see what's next for Herring. Obviously, the Miguel Berchelt reunification seems likely because it's in-house, but we do hear of Gary Russell sort of going all over the place looking for a big contract. Maybe he could come in here and sort of play spoiler to Jamel Herring. But, Rob, your thoughts on Mazuyuki Iota losing his WBO belt to Jamel Herring?
I thought Herring was great. I thought he pretty much controlled the fight, I think, with his jab. He kind of made Iota look kind of basic. He didn't really have an answer to, like I said, I felt Herring just was pumping that jab really well, and it made Iota it showed Iota for lack of, like, I guess, what, ring IQ or something like that. Yeah, it's just a really good performance, and it's a sort of real cool story as well. I believe I've not seen a lot of him myself personally, but a lot of people say, great guy in the sport, a really good guy, and sort of well deserved. He turned over the bookies odds and came away with a win, and so yeah, shout out to Jamel Herring. I thought it was a really good performance.
Agreed. Fu, your thoughts on the performance of Jamel Herring?
Yeah, like I was saying in the chat earlier, it was dominant, from start to finish. I think really I might have gave Ito like 3, maybe 4 rounds, if swing rounds, but Ito was just loading up a lot. It was like he was looking for just like the one big shot that would maybe change the fight, and and Herring just stayed consistent throughout. Had a perfect game plan. Like you said, his biggest win. So 130. Oh, maybe we'll see some action at 130. Some good unification fights or something. Who knows?
What do you think happens at the 130 title, picture? We have a good. This is obviously a fight that was a in-house, title fight, but it was also a setup fight for the next Miguel Berchelt opponent in a way. But then again, like I said, we have Gary Russell seemingly entering his name in sort of the sweepstakes at 130 in some fashion. What do we think happens here with Herring? Does he go and fight a sort of no-name, nondescript, voluntary first title defense, and then we talk about him fighting someone else relevant after that, or does he go straight into Miguel Berchelt in-house unification?
I think we might see a voluntary. I think he deserves like a sort of a victory lap kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't know. He might, he's been waiting sort of a long time for this, and maybe he thinks, right, let's go for it. So it appears it might be the Berchelt that they're looking at as far as the unification. So we'll obviously get more news on that in the coming weeks, I guess. But good luck to him. Whatever, he's achieved the title as the honor of a world champion. But yeah, I guess unifications, warrant more money. And how old is he? How old is
Herring? I have him up right here. Hold on 1 second. 33.
Yeah, so at that sort of weight, you wouldn't imagine there's too many years left. These
to maximize that that earning potential.
Yeah, so maybe we'll look to go straight into a unification, but I personally would like him to get a sort of a victory lap, homecoming sort of fight and everything like that. So yeah, no, it's just a good feel, good sort of story in a sport that we get them, but it's usually overshadowed by shit stories.
Yeah, especially a guy like Herring, who I think a lot of people sort of counted out, especially after like the Ladarius Miller loss. That seemed to be a one that had some red flags about his style and his sort of overall game at the moment. The Denis Shafikov loss at the time wasn't too alarming because Denis Shafikov at that point in time was a top 5 lightweight at that time. So I think for Jamel Herring, I think at this point he has figured out how to game plan with his style the right way, and that's sort of a big thing for the top guys is to just be able to have a game plan, have a strategy for a fight, and like you said, this is the moment to capitalize on his earning potential. Burchell, Davis, Farmer, even maybe a Gary Russell fight. Maybe the first one to introduce Gary Russell into a top-ranked deal. I could see that potentially. There's a lot of options for Jamel Herring, and a lot of them represent money. Go and take that. The time's running out, in a sense.
You said Gary Russell top rank, but you mean on the zone, you mean? Because he's linking up
Well,
with...
no, obviously Gary Russell got the offer from DAZN, but he mentioned Burchell first. Like that to me that's still the first name he mentioned. Even the post-fight interview, he said,
true.
He said Burchell.
And I guess Golden Boy and Matchroom have proven to work together, and I guess will continue to because they're under DAZN. So it's kind of like those two stables kind of need each other in order to make sort of the bigger fights for DAZN, which DAZN seem to be pushing. So
yeah, Burchell's not DAZN.
Oh, I thought he was.
No, he's Top Rank. No, he's Top Rank. ESPN.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. But they have been working together lately. I mean, as well. They're looking at Hooker, Ramirez.
But my point about Gary Russell is that like he's obviously in a free agent mode right now, just like Fury, Wilder, Frampton, Warrington, like a lot of guys recently in the last 6 months or so. Yeah. Russell's looking for contracts. We've heard that DAZN / Matchroom specifically offered him one. I would assume Bob Arum and Top Rank either are in the midst of one, or they will, or they have. I mean, there's no way you let Gary Russell be a free agent and not send him a contract or an offer. There's no way. Even if you're a low-level promoter like K2 Main Event, you got to be sending a contract to Gary Russell's way if you're hearing he's out there saying, I'm a free agent, I want to make money, I'm upset right now.
Imagine just getting one from Main Event.
Also, on the ESPN side, it seems like he's got more fights at 126 and more fights at 130 that are
there's
money
more
makers, than going with the DAZN side at those weight classes. To me,
for those weight classes, you either have to be a PBC or Top Rank. Like you either have to be, because featherweight especially is more divided. You have obviously Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell, and then you have Valdez and Warrington, both split up 50-50 amongst ESPN and PBC. Ellie in the chat saying, you really think he leaves PBC? I think there's a distinct possibility. I think he wants to make a big fight. And I think Heyman is of the mindset that, look, I'm still your advisor no matter what, so maybe I want you to stay here for the Leo fight, but if they're offering you more money, you're within your right and ability to go take that offer. I'm your advisor. I may advise you to do the opposite, but you can still ignore me. And then guess what? Heyman's still going to collect his advising fee off of his contracts. So just like Daniel Jacobs. Like you let Daniel Jacobs go to DAZN, in a sense, and Matchroom. And before that, HBO and Matchroom. So, yeah, I think, Ellie, there's a distinct possibility and probability he leaves PBC, in a sense, to go take these big fights. Because there are some big fights out there. The ones that are in-house PBC fights are Leo Santa Cruz. And he's sort of alluded that Leo doesn't want that fight. And I don't know the validity of that. On top of it, the other name he mentioned was Gervonta Davis. Does Mayweather seem inclined at all to put Gervonta Davis in a position to be successful? No.
Not at all.
So it's not like Gary Russell's like, even Al Heyman, like neither one there in that equation are like at fault for not getting the big fight. They just seem to not be able to make those big fights. That does happen.
The only thing that makes sense about Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. is that Russell Jr. is 126 pounds. That's the only thing in the whole equation that makes sense. I mean,
it is the Tank Davis equation.
You know what's funny? Like I instantly thought of that the gif of like the no lies detected at the lie detector monitor. Yeah, that just happened right there. A couple other fights on the undercard. Jose Pedraza picked up a win in the 9th round TKO against Antonio Torres. Adam Lopez picked up a win. Carlos Cuadras picked up a much needed win after getting a bunch of losses in his last sort of fight. I think it was like 3-3 in his last 6 fights. Like he hasn't been doing well. He needed that. Plus that viral knockout that happened. I think it was the Koki Ito versus Javier Cintron fight. That really like the one that kind of went air quotes viral for Top Rank in ESPN. That was overturned to no contest due to the headbutt. But that's it for ESPN unless anyone else has any other points about the ESPN card. No? Perfect. No. We can move on. Let's go to the Devin Haney card, which obviously seems to be the one that most people are talking about and focus on. For obvious reasons. Devin Haney has been a person of note for a while. Right? Like he's been a person that and a prospect that has had a lot of eyeballs on him for years at this point. He got a big-time contract for DAZN and Matchroom. Main eventing in this sort of late notice, but main eventing his debut card. And he comes out here and just puts on a clinic against Antonio Moran and knocks him out in vicious fashion. And probably, honestly, his best knockout to date. Easily. This was everything that you want from a debut promotional network performance from a fighter, from a prospect that has the attention like Devin Haney. I know for a lot of his critics, including people on this panel, opinions about him are shifting because of this fight. I don't know the degree to how much they should be shifted, but I will say this. Devin Haney is obviously maturing as a fighter. He's a young fighter. And I said this earlier on Championship Rounds on patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Go check that out. Fighters this young and this talented can improve from fight to fight drastically, exponentially, to the point where you almost see a completely different fighter from fight to fight. Shakur Stevenson, I think, is a really good example. You can go and there's a point where you watch one fight and it's like, okay, really good talent. And you go to the next fight and go, oh my God, there is something else there. And I think Haney sort of had that moment here. I can't put on any more sort of praises on Devin Haney, so I'm going to put the mic over to Rob. Rob, has your opinions about Devin Haney, which were critical like mine, also changed?
Yeah, they have. They have. And I don't know if that's just off the back of a knockout and has he found like the man strength? Is that finally coming through? But yeah, wow, what a performance. I believe Moran went 12 with Pedraza. And at the risk of sounding like Eddie Hearn, he is 20 years old. Just think of that. 20 years old, right?
Do it again. If I close my eyes, you sound just like Uncle Eddie.
But yeah, no, thinking about it, like, yeah, he's 20 years old. He's like 22-0 now. He had those early fights in Mexico because he wasn't old enough to fight in America yet. How many 20-year-olds are fucking 22-0? That just doesn't seem to work out. Like, But no, I was really impressed. It just seemed to. At one point, I was watching it go, yeah, he's still looking slick. He's still this, and he's landing big shots, but there doesn't seem to be an effect. It doesn't seem to be doing too much. Well, he was just breaking him down, and the finish. Oh my God, what a knockout! That's what you want to see. And I know he had a message today, talking about what exactly a knockout is and whether it's
he is doing a fantastic job of trolling.
For sure.
All the PPC fans, which is really funny.
Yeah. Do you want me to read it out?
I mean, you can. I don't care.
I need to get it. No, it's strange. Like I hadn't really. I was following him anyway, and didn't really see much of him. I think he's more an IG, the younger kind of guy, like an Instagram guy. I think the numbers on there are much better. But yeah, he had
like Ryan Garcia, for example.
that
Yeah,
kind of
his IG numbers are far different than his Twitter numbers.
Yeah, for sure. Look, where's it gone? I've lost it, mate.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat. Let's go to the 101 chat.
In the 101 chat.
You put it in the 101 chat, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Respect to Deontay Wilder. He knocked down Dominic Brazil, but he got up off the canvas at 9 or 10, so the ref stopped it. Wilder is a real puncher, so how can he put him up for a KO of the year against an ex-football player that didn't go to sleep? Damn.
I'll just say this. A, Brazil woke back up and got back up within 10 seconds and then stumbled across the ring. Second, you knocked out Moran. Slow your game there, Haney. Third, I think his argument's kind of badly put. I will put it that way, Haney. Have somebody else proofread your tweets. Because the point about Wilder's a man with power. Read that last part again. Like that doesn't make sense from an argument, structure standpoint.
Respect to Deontay Wilder. Although saying that, he put wider.
Did he really? That's hilarious.
I don't know if that's like shots.
That must be shots.
No, I think it's a typo. But
see, proofread.
He knocked down Dominic Brazil, but he got up off the canvas at 9 or 10, so the ref stopped it. Wilder is a real puncher. So how can this be put? How can this put him up for KO of the year against an ex-football player that didn't go to sleep?
Yeah, because that ex-football player went to sleep from the power and still woke back up. And secondly, that ex-football player is still better than whoever you've ever fought.
I don't know.
Come on.
I'm joking.
Stop. Come on. But anyways, Haney, I love the hate. I love the pettiness because why? It's getting you traction. It's for whatever reason, numbers are numbers, man. So you keep doing you. But have somebody proofread your shit before, please.
He also Teofimo Lopez has went another direction. Instead of a chance of fighting me, Bob pulled him out of the WBC tournament. So now I only have to beat Abdulayev, and I will become the mandatory challenger to the winner of Lomachenko versus Campbell world title fight. And then the little devil emoji. So
yeah, wait till Haney realizes, oh shit, the WBC cares about money, and Loma makes them more money than I do.
Wow, damn it. With all those near sellouts. Yeah.
Shots at Loma.
No. Shots at fucking Tony from T Street.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna keep mentioning your fucking name, you fucking bum ass. But anyways,
what casual.
Fucking idiot. Back to Haney. I don't think Fu gave his thoughts because we started, going down a rabbit hole of bullshit of Haney just triggering people, which I say again, good for him. Because what's the worst of that? Nothing. It really is nothing. It makes some fighters pissed off, and guess what? Fighters are emotional. You're gonna piss them off all the time.
Heavyweights as well. Who cares? What are they gonna?
And heavyweights have heavyweight emotions. Fu, thoughts on Haney's performance?
I think now he should be number 2 on our puncher list. No,
no.
Zulu's like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that to me.
You can't bump him down. Can't bump the man down to number 3. Damn, he's already the 3rd best heavyweight.
No, I was oh, that's great.
Oh damn, shit.
Oh, that was good.
Zulu, they're coming for you, man. That's not me.
I was very impressed with Haney. I think we've been saying for a while that, I felt like he's about 2 years away. Like 4 months ago, we were saying about 2 years away from, championship, titles. This changed my mind a little bit, depending, I guess, on who's really holding the belts at 135. I still don't know that, like, everything that he does really well. Like, I'm impressed that he's managed to add that much power and keep his speed the way he has. Like, That to me is a testament. He hasn't had to be flat-footed to add a lot of power. His movement's still really good. He's obviously a great counterpuncher. He fights really well moving backwards. Like there were moments, I guess, where I felt like maybe he was a little shaky when he was getting pressed, but he also landed a lot of good shots moving backwards, which is another testament to someone who's going to be able to, fight at the higher level. I think he does so much very well for 20 years old. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with at like 24, 25 years old and up. Like he's probably going to dominate whatever weight class he's in. He's just, it seems like he's moving really well in the sport. He's taking his career very like serious. And I think he's going to be at the top. I don't think there's any doubts about how good this kid is now. That knockout was impressive to me. I know it wasn't an opponent that you're just going to go crazy over, but it's still an impressive win. Everything that he did in that fight was impressive to me.
Agreed. Speaking of the timetable for what he wants next, obviously Abdulev is probably next for him, as he has stated. That's in-house fight, right? Isn't Abdulev signed with Matchroom?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think,
he,
but it's one of those fighters that
is he an Igas Klimas guy? Does anyone know?
I'm not sure. I really don't know.
Where's Leonard in the chat when we need him, man?
I know. Where's the real boxing fans at?
Yeah, fuck, right? But anyways, I think Haney is going to be just sort of waiting in limbo for at least a year. I think whatever Bob Arum's plans are to sort of consolidate the lightweight title picture is going to work, and it's going to take time. It's going to take at least a year. So, sorry, I don't think you can get Loma after Loma Campbell. I don't think you can get Loma after he unifies with whoever comes out of the Comey Tifima Lopez situation. I think, unfortunately, Haney might have to wait for a title at like 140 and go and fight Maurice Hooker, which would be an in-house fight at 140, instead of trying to do the mandatory route with Loma. Because Loma is a very tough fight, and you can go get a belt against Hooker at 140, probably far easier. And two, I don't know if the levers of the sanctioning bodies are going to move in your favor as much as you think they are. I just don't. It's so hard to predict how sanctioning bodies are going to move and react to the money makers or the stars of the sport. Leonard's saying Abdulev is with Titov. I don't know who that is. So I would assume it won't be a holdup at all.
I'm trying to find out where that guy is from.
One of those fighters you can get.
Yeah, you can pick him up.
Any show.
Yeah, you can pick him up for like some goats and shit. It wouldn't be that hard. But Haney, whatever you do next, whether it's Abdulev or I should say Abdulev, and then whatever next after that, I think we're all going to still pay attention because you've now put yourself definitely on the map, even for your critics, in a way that you need it, I think. Moving on, Jessica McCaskill versus Anaya Esther Sanchez. A really fun fight. I know Fu's like head over heels about this fight, calling it fight of the year. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was
I said candidate for fight of the year. It was a great fight.
Okay. Maybe. It was a good fight. It was a really great fight. I will say that. It was a great fight. I wouldn't put it on my short list, but it was a great fight. McCaskill winning via unanimous decision. Now picking up a unified championship at what's that? Lightweight? Yes. No. Super lightweight. But anyways, Fu, I know you want to talk about this fight more than I do. Because I only watched it once and I don't remember it that well. I only watched it live. So Fu, floor is yours. Go for it, man.
I just thought, especially if you look at like maybe some of the past female fights, like Taylor's obviously a great fighter, but there's never a fight that she's in where you feel like it's like a 50-50 fight. And this felt like the entire time, like I thought the scorecards were way too wide. I don't know if the chat will agree with me or not. I don't have it up right now. I don't know who really watched the fight, but I thought McCaskill probably did pull it out, but Anna, she did great. I thought that was the best female fight of the year for sure, hands down. It had a lot of action from round one. Even just they came out just trying to slaughter each other in round one. And as far as competitiveness throughout, I thought even in a lot of the men's fights this year, this was a candidate to me for the best fight of the year. Because they both were landing just heavy shots all the way through. Neither one was really backing up or taking a round off. So to me, it was just a great fight and a really good card the entire time. So
I agree.
I think everyone should appreciate two girls just whooping ass like that for 10 rounds. I wish they would go 3-minute rounds though, honestly, because I think a fight like that, you would see more knockdowns. You would have seen somebody get dropped.
Well, we talked about this before.
Out.
Like, it's very simple for everyone out there that maybe doesn't understand it. A women's title fight is literally 20 minutes of action. A men's title fight is 36 minutes of action. There's 16 whole extra minutes for men's title fights than women's title fights. It's a whole other fight. You basically adding an entire separate women's title fight on it. That's the amount of disrespect that sanctioning bodies have towards women. Just being honest. At least I know it wasn't on Sky. Damn, that's sad. Ellie, hit me up on Twitter. I'll try to find a link for you if you need one. I bet I can find one. It's easy, but if you need one, I can find one. Because I know, hey, women's boxing needs to be pushed. So if we just need to share links to help push it, we can do that.
Matthew D'Souza killing it in the chat. He says, it was so good, even Steve Kim gave it a thumbs up.
I saw that. That's funny. That's funny, Matthew. Hold on. Air horns for you. That's a good one.
High praise indeed.
That is high praise. Michael Hunter picked up a easy TKO win against Fabio Maldonado in the second round.
Who, by the way, went 12 rounds with Oscar Rivas, just to give that some kind of context.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, Fabio Maldonado is also like extremely old at this point, so maybe this is just maybe the Rivas fight was the last one. It's one of those Maldonado's next fight will indicate what this performance probably means more so than the previous Maldonado win or fight, I should say. Yeah. But good performance, dominant performance, quick one from Michael Hunter. I like that. Filip Hrgović picked up another quick TKO win against Gregory Corbin. Shout out to both of those heavyweights making quick work of the night. And Danir Lisanov picking up another unanimous decision win against Lewis, whatever his name is. Lisanov, he's one of those guys that he needs to start showing me something a little bit extra. He needs to start showing me some more wrinkles to his game for me to start being hyped about him like we were when he first came out of the amateurs. Also, Lorenzo Simpson picked up another TKO win as well. Any thoughts on the undercard fights for those guys?
At first glance, I thought Hrgović had just completely caved the back of Corbin's head in with a bad, horrible, illegal shot. But the slow motion showed he sort of kind of turned the wrist over a little bit and really caught him flush on the side. It was interesting because it was mentioned like for Joe Joyce next that Eddie Hearn would he can go over to BT and fight on BT, Hrgović versus Joe Joyce, and that Eddie would subsidize like the purse. He would put the money into the purse as well. To which Sam Jones, Joyce's handler, was like, when the time is right, we could do that. He's beaten him. Joyce beat him in the World Series boxing, I think. Mm-hmm. But this was quite a while ago, and Hrgović was really young at the time or whatever. But it's now turned into when the time is right, we can look at that fight or whatever. It's just been a bit of fun on Twitter back and forth. But I thought on Sky we just got, I think it was Hunter, Hrgović, and then Haney. We didn't get a whole lot of the card, but I think that knockout from Haney kind of pushed, DAZN. It was a highlight reel sort of knockout. It went not Deontay Wilder viral, but it went semi sort of boxing viral. Got a lot of attention, and it's like, well, it was on the zone. Maybe it's just a few more eyes, and who's this guy on the zone? Oh wow, if people didn't know, so it's a good signing. Obviously, Hugovic looks like he could be something in the division. And Hunter, I like him. It's just he's quite, I think, small at the heavyweight limit. He's borderline a cruiserweight still. I think he was, and I don't know. He looks kind of like he's carrying the weight. Like I've kind of had to eat my way to heavyweight.
Yeah, he weighed in 215.
Yeah, so I'm not saying he looked fat, but he wasn't like, how he could maybe look. But if he's still sort of trying to get comfortable at the weight, still gaining mass or something like that, then maybe further down the line he's going to be some kind of force in the division as well. But obviously these are early days in these guys' heavyweight careers, so we'll wait and see. But no, I guess exciting times for the future. But it was a decent enough card from DAZN, I think.
Yes, of course. Because you get that,
Yeah,
that zone defense in there, Rob. Because no one was attacking the zone. It's okay.
No, I didn't say they weren't.
I know.
I think Hunter looked really good. I feel like he's going to at least be some type of a player in the heavyweight division. It'll be neat to have him there for some of the top guys. And then Hrgovic is just like, you don't know what to think, man. Like when people get first round knockouts, it's like, okay, I don't know what to think about this guy yet. You haven't seen anything from him really. So, we'll have to see. And then Ilusinov, like, I agree, man. Like, he's asking for all of this, like, praise and to be on all these big cards. But, I mean, what's he doing? I'm not very impressed by him yet, Like, so the most impressive thing was the Haney knockout, and then the McCaskill and Sanchez fight was probably the best fight on the card. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to have Hunter looking like that's his fourth heavyweight fight, right?
I think so.
Third or fourth? Yeah. So I'd like to see how Hunter does with some of the other heavyweights, and it looks like if he can do that at heavyweight, then I'm excited to see Usyk up there, see what he can do, because Hunter's having some success.
Moving on, the PBC on FS1 card sort of slipped by. I think of like the timing of the card was super early in the day. Like I remember sitting there thinking, like, okay, like FS1 card is gonna be on after the DAZN card because the DAZN card was on early. Nope, DAZN card was on early, and the FS1 card was on far earlier. Trout Gachet going to a split draw. Most people are saying that Terrell Gachet won the fight. I will probably say who cares. I'll be honest. Cordell Booker picked up a good win against Wale Amatosa. And that's probably about it for notable fights. A lot of the undercard is still left to be determined because it's I don't think anyone watched it. So BoxRec doesn't even have certain fights like penciled in like who won yet. But it was a card that no one largely cared about or noticed. I don't think any of us really need to talk about it or dwell on it. Moving on. Zucan or Kanzu or Susan, as we call him here, picked up a great TKO win against Shun Kubo on the Chinese Golden Boy card. It was streamed on Ring TV, and I believe WBA streamed on their website as well. Carlos Canizales picked up another unanimous decision win against Sho Kimura in a fantastic fight. Probably the fight of the weekend, to be honest. Push back on Fu's adoration of McCaskill versus Sanchez. Canizales Kimura was a better fight. And one that had I'm going to say more stakes in it because I think most people picked McCaskill to win that fight. This one was a crossroads fight in a lot of ways, where the loser of this fight, both of you shutting off your camera.
Oh, I didn't. I think something happened with the feed.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Then.
all went. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was weird there. But anyways, but great card. I would say great doubleheader. If you haven't seen it yet, Ring TV has the stream up right now. Go to Ring TV. I think it's still like the first thing on their main page. But Canizales versus Kimura, go watch that if you haven't. And if you haven't seen Zucan yet, go watch him because he's gonna be a player at featherweight for at least till somebody outboxes him. Because he's one of those guys that might be like a Moreta or Ito, where he's really exciting, but he's going to come in there with a high level boxer and he's going to get schooled. But until that point, he's in all action fights. So I'm excited about Shukan.
It's also on Golden Boy Facebook, according to Jay Willett. So
cool.
if that's easier for people, which I imagine it is, maybe not for Matt, yeah, it's there as well.
Anyways, Rob, did you watch this card? I know Food didn't. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't get around to it. I'm sorry, but shout out to Susan.
God, I thought you would be like gunning to see this fight. And by the way, when you watch the stream, because I'm to be honest, it is really hard because a lot of it wasn't in English, obviously, and there really wasn't like headers. It's like when people were fighting, there wasn't like names and like whose trunk was who. The Susan fight is the co-main event for anyone trying to figure out which fight is which and isn't really up to date on who's who. Zucan is co-main event, and then you have the Kimura Canizales fight. But if you're reading all the headers, they're in Japanese or Chinese. You can't read it. It's impossible. Moving on, though, that's it for fights. So let's get to news of the day, Rob. Rob, every time we talk about this subject, and first off, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International caller, Skype, Mixed Comment Radio. Every time we start talking about AJ Wilder in some capacity, I get a flashback to us a few months ago going, you know what, guys? Me and you both did this, Rob. It wasn't just me. It was both of us. And we said, we're not going to talk about AJ Wilder until something actually happens. And then boxing comes around.
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
And we have to talk about it. It just sucks, but we do. AJ obviously is in the middle of a media tour right now for the Ruiz fight, and he was on First Take. I want to say yesterday, right? Was it yesterday or this morning? This morning. And he had some words to good old Deontay Wilder.
Why sit here and talk about it? Let's just meet in the ring and get it on. Talk is cheap now. I've done enough of that talking business. I'm a fighter, and that's why I want to handle my business. Deontay Wilder, when you're ready, come see me at a table. Don't come through your promoters and that. No. Come sit with me and let's get this fight sorted. Then there's no pity-patty or who said, she said. It's me and him, man on man. Hopefully, me and him can negotiate this fight ourselves.
And then, what, Rob? An hour after that, it seems, right? It wasn't that long. It was maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. Lance Puggermeyer comes out with an article. Actually, it was 2 hours, exactly 2 hours. Coming out saying, well, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't look likely that we're going to get Wilder AJ. Adding that, according to two fighters who are anonymous, saying that they're in talks for a September card, Staples Center, and the main event of that card is going to be Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. There's a lot to sort of address here. We have AJ wanting the meeting. We have, obviously, Wilder Ortiz too. I don't know if we want to address both topics individually or combined, Rob. It's up to you. Sort of live producing. I don't know how you want to deal with this. But this is just the facts. We have AJ right now who has a fight this weekend, who's only talking about Wilder. And even Eddie is out there talking, not only, that's hyperbolic. But you know what I mean?
He's being asked about Wilder.
Well, of course he is. And, you asked this question on the championship round, and it's worth addressing. Is AJ looking past Ruiz with the constant Wilder call-outs? Is Wilder doing the right thing and sort of ignoring it and just doing his own thing? Honestly, like there's a lot to sort of address and a lot of different angles to address it with. I don't know how you want to address it, Rob, but floor is yours.
Yeah, Rob. This is your question.
Reward. So we already know where I stand in this situation.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was your question.
Keep that same energy, Rob.
That I posted your question, which you put in the wrong chat. After Matt said I put it in the wrong chat, I posted your question to Matt.
Guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who asked the question first.
It did at the time, didn't it?
It didn't.
And
it didn't matter at the time. It didn't matter at the time.
You questioned my verbiage, which was copy and pasted in Foo's question. So I just want to get it out there.
You questioned my verbiage.
You brought up verbiage, and I was like, damn, I'm not having
well, you
that.
know I'm pretentious. Come on.
Oh, totally. So yeah, I personally don't think he's looking past it. I think he's ultra professional in what he does. I think he's just going through the motions on the media circuit. He's asked constantly about Wilder, and I think they're taking this opportunity to put it, while they're over here, especially over there. Sorry, I should say, especially to be like, they want America to know that Joshua wants this fight, and whether that's with the knowledge that he's not going to be taking that fight next, but Joshua's trying to make it plain and clear. I want that fight next. After I've dealt with Ruiz, I want to fight Deontay Wilder. But like you say, Lance Pugmire's put it out there.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter what AJ wants right now.
I know AJ's not taken, but you are, Rob. You have a significant other. You don't need to bathe AJ with all this love right now.
All right, babe. But AJ wanted to fight in England, but as we know,
he said I want 50-50. We gave that to him. Wait, no, my country deserves me to fight here, so I'm gonna fight here.
Dude, Rob has so many Wilder. I think I've always been right.
I've always
Rob is a big Wilder fan.
Guys, I've always been right, and the sooner the listeners know that I'm always right when it comes to you motherfuckers, the better. Okay, because just look at the bio. Because I just fixed the bio, everyone. So go read our new bio on our YouTube channel and everything. It's hilarious. But
very professional.
It's not professional at all, and I did that on purpose. It's for the bands.
There's me getting lit. Fucking logo reveal intros, looking professional.
Wait, did Rob just say lit?
Lit. Yeah. He did.
Yo, it's litty. It's litty. Oh my god. But I forget what I was saying. Anyways, Rob is an asshole. That's just what I want to say. I forgot what I was saying. Just want to make sure everyone gets that understood here.
It's always the easiest thing to do is interrupt a stoner, because it fucks up the whole brain system and they can't remember. You were going to come at me. I threw in a few words.
Have you been smoking something?
Never.
Short-term memory is gone.
Fuck, what were we talking about too? what was I going to address about Rob?
His love for AJ.
AJ. Him being a fucking hardcore secret Wilder mark. Yes, I've been right from the get-go, guys. I've
got sound bites of fucking Wilder sounding like a frustrated. I'll hold back on the next word.
But again, that's because you secretly love him.
Yeah.
I
love so much. I want the world to hear what the stupid dumb shit he said.
Yes. You like how Rob's really serious about this. He's like, arguing your jokes with facts and logic like they matter. They don't matter.
Don't listen to them, Zulu.
But anyways, back to the topic at hand, because it's very important, guys. Are we of the mindset that AJ calling out for a meeting with Wilder, while great gesture, is peacocking? Like it is just a show, like it's a show of force in a way, but there's no, I'm not gonna say no meaning behind it, but there's no real cause and effect from him saying that, because like you've said, Rob, Wilder's already going about his plan for this year, and it, like he said that time and time again, like we got a plan this year, guys, like we're not budging from this.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie said we got to try and basically shame him into it, like dare him. He was, I think it was with Radio Raheem. He said, "Now I would never say this about a fighter, but Joshua's almost got to be like, you're a coward, really go in hard and like try and, go at the
Goad him into it.
the manhood, test the manhood kind of thing. Like, where's the fighter? I thought you were a fighter. I thought you wanted this. I want to unify. Well, where's that guy gone? And all that. Really try and put it on him in that regard. But as we know, Wilder, he's very stubborn, very sort of prideful and whatever. I think he's not going to budge. So yeah. I don't think it's going to matter what he says. It'll make great, sound bites and clips and internet viral shit, but I don't think it's going to make any difference whatsoever. This is going to be Wilder Ortiz. And Leonard in the chat said, where is it? Wilder versus Ortiz in September. Could this be a strategy to announce Kaunaki fight before the WBC call the white reverse mandatory? So who knows? But yeah, I think they're going to go through with the plan that we've known for quite some time now.
Yep, agreed. Fu, same question. Are you of the mindset that AJ's call for a meeting between him and Wilder, man to man, while is a great gesture, is largely just a peacock move to have a show of force and to sort of play his hand to sort of for the PR optics of it?
Yeah, I think we kind of said this a long time ago. At this point, they can all say whatever they want, and the fans on either side are going to believe. If you're an AJ fan, you're going to be like, Wilder's ducking. And if you're a Wilder fan, it's AJ's ducking, and every side can say whatever they want because there's no drawbacks to it. It's just a matter of that fight's going to happen when they want it to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've already decided on a time frame and they're just trying to make the fight as big as they possibly can at this point. I think everyone could do themselves a favor by liking boxing that's like 160 pounds, maybe 168 pounds and down, instead of only giving a shit about heavyweight boxing.
Hold on. 175. 175
175 is great too. Okay. But realistically, people get so caught up in the heavyweight scene that they miss out on a lot of really good stuff. So, and this topic gets beat to shit because everybody wants this one fight. And there's a lot going on in the heavyweight division that is stopping it from happening.
I think it's pretty clear for the fan, like the boxing fan base, the community, not in terms of casual awareness and proportion, but it is the Mayweather-Pacquiao of this generation. It is the fight that the fans are clamoring for the most. That is clearly the biggest fight of its sort of contemporaries, right? Like Spence Crawford isn't bigger. Even like if you would have put, let's say, what's the biggest fight for Canelo out there in the near future? Jamal Charlo? Callum Smith?
Charlo, it's big.
Nah,
I just don't even know who's real big for Canelo right now.
Well, Triple G trilogy.
Let's say Triple G trilogy. Let's say Triple G.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're probably right, Rob. That's probably the biggest money fight, right? Even to this, at this point, it still is, right? You put that back on pay-per-view, and let's say you have Wilder, AJ pay-per-view, and they're close enough to where you can compare them on a time schedule, but they don't conflict enough to where they draw on each other's numbers. I would assume AJ Wilder does more numbers.
Yeah.
At this point in time, it has built up to that point, and it will continue to be built up. So I think you're right, Phil. I think they've realized, like, we can just wait. I think both parties understand that. I think all of this is just public gesturing, and it means nothing.
And they're all making money in the meantime. It's not like any of them are all this. Oh, well, we could have had this $40 million fight, but now we're fighting for $1 million. Wilder just fought for $20 million or something, $15 million. No one's losing money. They're all making money. And that fight just gets bigger.
Everyone's still a millionaire.
They might lose money if one of them loses. That's the only.
But
Yeah.
but even then, like that didn't happen with Mayweather Pacquiao. Like, you know what I mean? Like Pacquiao got knocked out in such vicious viral fashion, and yet he still made over what $100+ million.
No,
You know
I
what I
hear you,
mean?
but it just sets things back, right? If
It sets the timetable back, but it doesn't set the money back. That's the thing that people get wrong. It definitely sets
No.
the timetable back. Absolutely. If
It
Wilder
fucks up,
loses or AJ loses, the fight gets pushed back a year or 2 or 3 years.
yeah, and it fucks up maybe that it's the fact that it's that undisputed heavyweight championship
They
fight.
get that back. There'd be the undefeated aspect to that, but even then, I think that's largely overrated. I think that's a talking point that gets talked about for like boxing writers more so than like real consumers. Like people that pay for boxing, they don't care if you win or lose. Look at Canelo, look at Pacquiao, look at Mike Tyson, look at Oscar De La Hoya. Like most people that are superstars have losses on their record.
No, I said undisputed, not undefeated.
No. I understand that, but what I answered directly to, I don't think you heard me then, was that they get a title back. Like that wouldn't be the issue. It would then be maybe, oh, well, one of them is not undefeated then. We don't have 2 undefeated records going at each other. But then that was a point I brought up, and then I self-addressed. That's all. Because I said you're right, undisputed, but they can just win the belt back. Like let's say AJ loses to Ruiz, right? He could just win the belt back or the belts back. Wilder loses to Ortiz in a rematch. They have a trilogy. He beats Ortiz in the trilogy. Like that could you could still have a undisputed heavyweight championship fight between those two guys, even with the loss.
Yeah. And what do you make of the choice of venue to be back in LA again? Do you think that's a bit weird?
Well, yeah, let's talk about Wilder Ortiz too. Now, I think the Staples Center is an okay location for it. I think Barclay is a better location for Wilder, but I understand them going back to LA and just sort of, ping ponging back and forth from the 2 big markets in the U.S. I'm curious about the date and what it might compete with at that time. It's September, right? So that's the date they're looking at.
But they're not going to clash with a Canelo pay-per-view because obviously Canelo will be on DAZN, so it's not pay-per-view.
But they might clash with the Canelo fight. Maybe not directly, but maybe like it's a week before or after. And then you might be only worried about like ticket sales, right? So even though, let's say, Canelo Triple G3 Las Vegas next Independence Day, right? So that's what, September 15th, 14th. It's one of those days, right? You might have like the LA crowd that would travel to Canelo Triple G not pay to see Wilder Ortiz too. Certain things like that are maybe of concern. NFL season is just starting at that time too. So maybe you worry about games that are maybe drawing away from ticket sales. Certain things like that, but those are minor. I think Wilder Ortiz 2 is still a pretty decent fight. I'm curious about what network this is. That to me I'm far more curious about is what network this fight is attached to than anything. We have Wanaki in the previous month fighting Areola on Fox. Man, if you don't put Wilder on Fox, it makes 0 sense to me. He's your biggest star.
Yeah, especially after the last numbers, realistically.
Yeah. Well, they weren't bad, but they were not good.
They were bad enough they had to include streaming. And normally they don't include streaming numbers.
Absolutely. Especially in the press release, yes. And on top of that, like you've already put all your big name welterweights on Fox. Like, why not put Wilder on Fox? Like, he's already been on Fox before. He's already done those all the big 4 cable networks or basic cable providers. So just fucking put him back on Fox. Make that a huge commercial for the Granaki Wilder fight.
It'll be Showtime.
It will be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be Showtime.
I'm probably, if I'm guessing Showtime.
Yeah, he's loyal.
Yeah. Like Lance is saying, it's expected to be on Showtime, but at least it's not pay-per-view.
Yeah,
right. That's a good thing.
We'll see.
You see?
Yeah, no, you will see.
I think it won't be. I think they realized that Wilder Fury was kind of like lightning in a bottle. while let's say like Spence Garcia maybe wasn't. You know what I mean?
I think
there must be some internal metrics they're looking at.
Dig very deep into the pot again to pay Wilder big money that he's been turning down from the zone, and also Ortiz, remember, was offered $7 million for the Joshua fight, so he's going to go over and fight Wilder for one or two.
Hey, look,
hot take.
look,
$500,000 probably.
Look,
sorry, I don't think he's getting paid more than that.
No, he's getting paid more than that.
$1 million, maybe.
He's getting paid 1.5.
Okay.
I'll bet on that. I bet like a dollar friendly bet. So, yeah.
Expect
gentlemen's bet.
Because Brazil got paid $1 million, right? Didn't he get paid $1 million? Am I imagining that?
No, I think so.
Brazil was a mandatory though. There's a specific split on that, right?
Yeah, but it's not a great split. What?
Yeah, but voluntaries get paid less.
Not necessarily. Not if you're a voluntary with some leveraging power, and Ortiz at that time did have leveraging power.
Well, he's got Dade Promotions behind him, right? So we've seen what their mathematics skills and fucking business.
Yeah, I just think that he has a bad fucking promoter. But
country is only bad money if you sign the contract for bad money. So.
But hey, look, I mean, we're talking about an era where like Jesse Vargas got paid $1.3 million guaranteed to fight on a DAZN undercard of a venue that did what, 4,000 or 5,000
near sellout.
You know, so people are getting paid a lot. Period. There's enough capital that's being invested into the sport. That's not an issue.
On DAZN, yeah.
No, everywhere. What do you mean? What do you mean on DAZN, Rob? What do you mean on DAZN? PBC has the same budget that Matchroom has.
All right, so Jesse Vargas would have got 1 point whatever it was on PBC if he was there.
Again, Rob, you're forgetting the entire timeline. The Showtime deal and the Fox deal happened after the DAZN deal and after Jesse Vargas left. And Jesse Vargas wasn't even. Oh, he was with Al, wasn't he?
Yeah,
for a brief period of time, right? Huh? How many PBC fights did he have? He didn't have that many, did he?
No, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of like the top rank versus PBC fights he had. But anyways, digressing. Look, like I think you're just forgetting the timetable here. Like PBC has the same budget that Matchroom has. Maybe not DAZN for boxing, because DAZN also includes World Boxing Super Series, Canelo's contract, which is his own thing, and then Golden Boy. But PBC has the 65+ million deals respectively for both Showtime and Fox.
Yeah, no, I just said if it was now and Jesse Vargas was on PBC, would he be getting $1.3 million?
No, but I would argue that he probably shouldn't be getting paid that much.
Yeah,
like he is actually getting overpaid. He got the benefit of being the first guy.
Yeah, he's getting that kind of loyalty love for thank you for signing it. You know, yeah, I get that, but I think you might argue that a lot of people on DAZN are getting overpaid at the moment.
Compared to the probably market value, absolutely. But Jesse Vargas probably more so. Like, it's more obvious because he was again like the third fight from the top, getting paid more so than the entire card combined, and that included Estrada, Rungvisai, Doheny, Roman, all champions. Like that just doesn't add up in some way, especially when you look at the ticket sales.
Back to the Wilder thing. I just think this is a slight gamble because wherever Joshua and Wilder land, they are, Wilder's saying things like, "I want $100 million." Well, I hope you do a shit ton of fucking pay-per-view buys then, because we know certain splits after, on the pay-per-view money, X amount goes to this guy, X amount goes to that guy, X amount goes to that company, X amount goes to that. It's got to do ridiculous amounts of pay-per-view buys to get him $100 million purse or whatever and back-end money. So, and apparently there were 10 million illegal streams of Wilder and Fury. So I don't know. I think gambling and trying to get the fight on Showtime pay-per-view or things like that when the guaranteed money is being paid by DAZN. Look, I just want to see the fight, but as far as a business decision, I think gambling and thinking, yeah, we'll do all this on pay-per-view. I'm not so sure. I don't see. I'm not quite sure.
I completely disagree with you. I completely disagree with you.
All right, well,
I think even Eddie has said numerous times that he would probably disagree with you. Just call your cousin, man. Call cousin up, cousin Eddie.
I'm good. I was just shocked that you disagree with me, Matt.
Are you?
No,
exactly. Come on. I think Wilder AJ can make a lot of money on pay-per-view at this point in time. I'll be honest. Is it as enticing to us people that don't make a lot of money as guaranteed for $40 million? No, of course not. But fighters have been making back-end money on pay-per-view since the dawn of time, and they like it for some reason. And I think the reason why is because they make a lot of money on the back end that probably isn't taxed the same way. And that's probably why they like that. There's some loophole tax issues that involved with that.
Also, there.
Right, but that's waiting on people buying it.
Well, also,
hold on. It's not necessarily. It's not. Just like the money in escrow thing. You can put their fighters' purses in escrow regardless of the pay-per-view buy rate. And the pay-per-view buy rate is just to return on the investment from the promoters. That's how it can be done. You know how that's how it can be done. Eddie Hearn's talked about that. So just like DAZN, you never question how DAZN's going to make their money back when they offer these fighters this ton of money for a $20 a month app that no one has, except for fucking degenerates like me. Come on, Rob. Like, keep the consistency here. Why aren't you questioning DAZN and how they're going to make the money back?
I don't care where they make the money back.
Then why do you care if Showtime pay-per-view makes the money back?
I'm just talking on a perspective of Wilder.
He's talking about the fighters getting paid.
I think the fighters get paid regardless. Here's the thing. Let's say me and Rob are on pay-per-view for Showtime. Right? We're fighting each other. Right? Just to put me and you in this situation, right? Just so it's easier for us to understand.
I can see a knockout going viral.
We both get paid $1 million guaranteed. That's the disclosed purse, right? That's not necessarily the guarantee. Because remember, there's similar to how Rob they switch up contracts, offer term sheets, like that verbiage, right? That wording, right? Guaranteed, disclosed purse, all of those can get sort of switched up as well. Disclosed purse is not necessarily what your guarantee purse is. Disclosed purse is what we see. We assume that's usually the guarantee. That maybe is not what the guarantee is. That's why you have like bonuses in contracts, right? That's why Canelo's contract has been talked about a lot about like what's the disclosed, what's the guarantee. Those are two very different things at times. I think for a fight like Wilder and AJ, their guarantees are going to be very high. Maybe their disclosed purses for a pay-per-view won't be. Just similar to if we had that pay-per-view, me and you make $1 million for disclosed each, but back-end guaranteed, $5 million each, $8 million each, whatever it is, right? And then you get whatever the pay-per-view does on top of that. And that money is in escrow from the promoters and the investors. That's how it's run. And that's how a pay-per-view would work with AJ and Wilder. And for the difference would be with DAZN, let's say the fight's on DAZN, that money is putting up front by DAZN and their investors, and they're hoping they recoup that via international distribution, which is probably going to be their number one moneymaker, not the U.S. Subscriber gain. It would probably be international distribution, their rights set, similar to Canelo Jacobs, how probably the bulk of their money was in the deal with, was Azteca TV?
Yeah.
And I think it was on another channel as well in Mexico.
It was too, yeah.
I bet bulk of their money for that fight came from, or revenue, I should say, came from the rights they have that they license out to Azteca TV and all these other international rights, similar to DAZN would probably have some deal to license out the fight to Sky, to other markets, and they'll make money off of that. But anyways, I don't think that a Showtime pay-per-view would be that much of an issue at all. And again, everyone involved has basically said that. So I don't think it's an issue at all, Rob. And I don't think it would be an issue about money. I don't think fighters would be worried about money when it comes to a pay-per-view, especially that pay-per-view. I think what they're worried about is the split. That's 100% what the issue is with those two guys still. is the split.
Uh,
I think AJ won 60-40 or something like that, and Wilder probably won 60-40 in his way. I think they're still of that mindset.
Yay.
I think this is a stupid fight for Ortiz because I think Wilder's really going to hurt him this time. I think Ortiz is getting to the point where he's not going to be able to handle getting knocked out by Wilder the way he did the last time. Just it's not as he could have fought AJ and it would have been more interesting. This is potentially less money and a fight that I don't think a lot of people are going to be too hyped about or care about. Honestly, not even Wilder fans. You can see it in the chat. Wilder fans aren't even like super stoked for him to fight Ortiz again. This is not an interesting fight.
I think it's a fine fight. It's just not the fight that everyone wants. Those are two different things. Like Spence Porter, right? Great fight. Is it Spence Crawford? No. AJ White. Great fight. Is it AJ Wilder? No. That's just the difference, in my opinion. Like, they're still all great fights, just there's the degrees of greatness.
Also, I think Wilder always looks in rematches, like when he's had to rematch someone, he's always put them down like in more emphatic fashion, I feel like. Obviously minus maybe like a Fury would be a different type of rematch, but I just go back to Stavern and him taking Stavern taking him 12 rounds, and then the next fight just fucking ended Stavern, right? And then, Ortiz had the 7th round, but then got, just blasted out. Now it's like, what is it going to be? 3rd round? Like Wilder comes out different in a rematch than he does in, he was tentative in the first Ortiz fight. He will not be in this rematch.
I largely agree. Let's move on before Rob gets mad at me for waving my Wilder flag around.
It's all right. Someone's got to have one.
Well, yeah, someone has to fucking push back on your matchroom talking points. God, fucking toxic. Let's talk about something that I know Fu's going to love because he's a top-ranked stan. Bob Arum hoping to sit down with Inoue after the World Boxing Super Series. How likely do we think that he signs this deal with Top Rank in some capacity? Fu, I'll go to you as our resident Top Rank fanboy.
Shit, I don't really like this move, but mainly because of what you were talking about in championship rounds. I would like Inoue to stay, to be able to be a little bit more mobile where he fights. I don't want him to go to Top Rank because there's, like, if he goes to 122, are the fights there for him at Top Rank? I don't know that they are.
There's a belt.
There's a belt, but Roman's on the other side. I'd like to see a Doheny fight. So there's some,
2 belts. Roman's got 2 belts.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't like Inoue getting tied down.
Don't forget DAZN's 3rd belt with Ray Vargas.
Yeah. So I don't really like him, and I don't want him to go to DAZN either. I think that, I don't really like these locked down to
for those that did
spot.
not see, because they didn't see, because obviously it's YouTube, it's only 2 screens. Rob had the most disgusted look on his face when Fu said, I don't want him to go to DAZN either. That was great, guys. I know you guys didn't see it, but it was fantastic. Back to you,
If I
Fu.
don't get to see Inoue on Sky every time he fights, I'll be pissed.
Oh, well, yeah, I can see that. I can see why that would be. Because if he goes to like anywhere else, you won't get those fights.
Well, come on, BT Sport.
And Rob doesn't want to buy BT Sports.
I have now.
He has it. Yes.
Yeah, got it now.
Old fish eyes.
Hey, but now you get UFC content, Rob. Get hyped, man. Get hyped.
You know what? After the Saunders, Ifusi, fuck it, whatever it was, Tutti Frutti.
Whatever that bullshit was.
That fight, there was a card on. There was some Brazilian guy that was doing mad crazy shit, and I'm like, I don't know what that was, but it was pretty fucking exciting. Shame he done it on a British guy, but never mind.
That was sad. That was sad.
Yeah, I was like, damn. But then there was one after that. It was boring as fuck. So it kind of went. Obviously, it doesn't happen too often. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, carry on.
Too often. I love the phrasing of that, Rob. You fucking.
I'm not
cunt.
enough of a historian to go back and say was it like
Okay,
this in
yeah.
the 90s, right? But I hate that we have to talk about every move a fighter makes as like, oh man, if they go here, we're not going to get to see the fights we want. Like, it really sucks because, like you want a fighter to do the best for themselves. So if ESPN's a bunch of money for Inoue, I want him to go there. Like, fine, whatever. He
Fine, whatever.
it,
Make
right?
millions. Fuck you.
Right.
But the problem is then you're not going to like you question if that's going to be the best thing for his legacy. And that is where it really should all come down to is like the best fighting the best and the legacy of the fighter and the sport.
And here's the thing, like the money thing can't even be an issue anymore because everyone has money. Like Inoue can be the free agent and hop around and fight Roman on DAZN and then Navarre on ESPN. And guess what? Make millions each time. Like everyone has money nowadays.
Millions.
Come on, Inoue. I think if he's playing a gun for hire free agent, people are offering him big contracts.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to.
If people don't think Eddie's running at Inoue right now with a massive contract, oh my God, Eddie already said that he's not ruled out going after Inoue.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there's like if he takes like let's say like a one fight with a one option contracts from like Matchroom stuff like that, or he just does like really loose co-promotional deals, similar to like Moreta with ESPN, right, and Bob Arum. Moreta operates with a lot of independence from Bob Arum, Top Rank. Similar, Joseph Parker did as well with Duco Events and Top Rank, right? I don't know exactly the verbiage of those contracts as to how they operate so independently from the big machines like Top Rank and Bob Arum, but if Inoue could do something like that, I'm okay with that, to be honest. I feel like that would be the best of both worlds. Keep a co-promotional deal with his Japanese promoter and then have a loose co-promotional deal with a U.S. promoter. That would make some sense. But I largely agree with you, Fu. Like, I think there's a benefit to him being a gun for hire and just collecting scalps everywhere. And also, from like a storyline perspective, like that's a fucking Japanese comic book right there. Is Inoue just fucking collecting scalps all over the world from all these different promoters and networks and just collecting bank from it. Just saying.
Yeah.
Rob, you've been kind of quiet about Inoue, Arum. Do you care? Like, does this not register to you?
No, as long as I'm happy, as long as I get to see the guy fight easy,
And by the way, I asked that because I don't mean like that as like you're not a fan of Inoue or something. I mean as like because it's Arum, it's a U.S. promoter. Does it feel like it has any cause or effect in your life as a UK boxing fan, if that makes sense?
No, not really. No. As like Fu said so brilliantly. That really his delivery was great when he said it sucks. As long as we get the fights we want to see with these fighters, that's as a fan, you can always watch the fight somehow, if you really want to watch it. So. As long as we get the fights we want, then I'm good. Don't get me wrong. It'd be great for DAZN to get him. It's obviously great for Top Rank to get him because he's obviously super exciting fighter. And if you're the ones lucky enough to get him on your side, you're more than likely going to have some bouts on your side of the street or whatever street it's on or whatever. So no, I'm good. But very, very quick, you do look like a historian there.
Gun to your head.
I always wanted that.
Go for that historian look.
That's a weird look to go for.
Like a professor or a historian or a librarian.
Okay.
Very boring.
Anyways, because that is boring. Gun to your
Matt,
head.
Come on, let's talk about this some more.
No, gun to your head.
Come on, Matt.
Gun to your head. Valdez versus Inoue on ESPN. Who wins? It's an open-ended question for anyone.
What, in the chat or
you? Who do you think?
I'm messing. Inoue, yeah, why not?
I'm picking Inoue over everyone.
Yeah,
right now.
Everyone. Leo Santa Cruz.
Not up to. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Inoue's got crazy power, man. Have we seen anyone that just
Daniel Roman? I know you're a big Roman fan.
At 122, I think Inoue beats him. I do. I just think
Speak your shit.
Inoue has
Speak your shit, King.
monster fucking power. Monster power.
I want smoke.
I agree.
You see when those guys get hit, they're like, "Oh shit," you know. Like you saw it. He fought the Jamie McDonald, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you saw the first time McDonald got knocked down, he immediately was like looking at his corner, like, "Oh shit!" Like
that's what Rodriguez did as well, right?
Yeah, you know, like they immediately look like, "Oh my god, I haven't been hit like this before." You know, like what are we gonna do here? You know,
Mayday. Hit the breaking news soundbite, please.
Oh my god, what do we have?
One in from the sport.
Oh, sorry, that's a little loud.
Yeah, hot off the press at the sports desk. The heavyweight division is, I'm going to say, lit again.
Litty.
Litville. Very litish.
Someone's been watching Liam play too much Fortnite.
Way too much Fortnite. Wow.
I said litty like a noob, right? Manuel Char and Trevor Bryan agreement is reached.
Hold on, let me find the perfect soundbite for that one.
You disrespect boxing, you piece of shit.
Hang on.
I live for heavyweight boxing, guys. I don't know how much if you guys know, but I love heavyweight boxing. I love heavyweight boxing. Guys.
You know what I love about heavyweight boxing, Phil? Is I love that like you get such great athletes in the heavyweight division, right, Phil?
Great boxers.
Great cardio.
The combination punching.
The cardio.
Is amazing. The footwork.
They can go 12 rounds.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know?
The physiques. You really got, good physiques in heavyweight division. Not guys like Areola, Wanaki.
Yes.
Or Duhapis.
Yes. I don't know why everyone just doesn't eat their way up to heavyweight so we can have one weight class in boxing.
I'm really mad that Rob's not getting in on this bit, and it's just me and you talking about how much we love the heavyweight division. But anyways, digressing, because Rob doesn't want to join in on the bit. Whatever, loser.
That was weird.
Fucking noob. Dan Rafael coming out and saying that, speaking of bantamweights too, since Inoue, Luis Nery fighting his former opponent Juan Carlos Payano on the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman pay-per-view card, and will be opening bout to that card. Love this idea. It's not 100% official yet. Sources are telling Dan this, but I love this fight. I think it makes perfect sense. Common opponent with Inoue, and plus just keep Nery active. Like he's one of those guys that was inactive for such a long time. Just throw him in fights. Like he's one of those guys you just need to keep being active and put him on undercards because he's not a name, and have people that watch the big pay-per-views become fans of this guy, and then maybe he becomes something in the lower weight classes to where he can make a Inoue fight, and that means something for more than just hardcore degenerate boxing fans. Rob, your thoughts on Nery facing Inoue's former opponent, Juan Carlos Payano? Can he do it better?
This is going to be Q Mike Coppinger having a little go at Dan probably for... you're breaking the news that I broke like 2 weeks ago or something, but with sources. But yeah, no, it's a perfectly good fight. I think we'll see. It'll be a good comparison here because Payano had never been stopped until he met Inoue, and not many seconds later, that statistic had changed. Let's see if Nery can. Because that's the equation, right? If you knock someone down quicker than the other guy that done it, that means everything. That's like how it works.
Yeah, I mean, if you knock Brazil out in one round, when AJ took, 7.
Come on now.
Then yeah, you're obviously better.
He took 7 times longer.
7 times longer.
7 times longer. guys. Okay, when
Yeah.
when AJ
He's
beat
pillow fisted.
when AJ beat Eric Molina faster than Wilder, it was only half shorter.
Yeah,
So
there you
like, just
go.
come on, guys. Like math,
No.
quick
So
math.
if Train A,
If you're just going to throw out lies, get the stats right on Molina and Wilder. How many rounds did that go?
Wilder Molina, I don't remember, man.
9, I think. I think you find it was 9, and
Okay.
Joshua done it at 3. So
Was it 4?
No, round 3.
Are you sure?
yeah, but I think Wilder had glandular fever then.
Yes. That.
Very cool. What about when Joshua beat Jason Gavin 1 round quicker than Wilder?
Wilder obviously had a broken nose from a headbutt, like that one time.
Yeah, and he needed some rounds.
It was hard to breathe. He needed some rounds. It happens.
So 2-1 Joshua. Is that what we're saying? 2 common opponents quicker than than Wilder. I'm just if we're doing math.
Oh my God, let's move on. For fuck's sake. Where was I at? Here we are. Speaking of heavyweights and former Wilder opponents, Artur Spielka fighting Derek Chisora reportedly for the undercard of White Rivas, or has been approached about the fight. Cool. I mean, like Fu said, man, I love heavyweights, man. Woohoo! Hey guys.
These fights are all shit.
I mean, this isn't a bad fight. It's just one
They're so boring to me.
It's just one that like I don't care about, and I mean to say that with the nicest way of saying it. And I know that's not a nice thing to say, but I just don't care about this fight. But it's not a bad fight. They're evenly matched at this point in time. Probably around the same ranking, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. But it's heavyweight boxing, so yeah, 2 old guys fighting. Cool. Rob?
Yeah,
Does this make you want to buy the pay-per-view even more?
No. I want to buy it more than
0.
I buy it. I don't know. Yeah, it's all right. It's always good seeing Derek Chisora at a press conference. Don't care who it's against. Derek Chisora fight week's usually good fun.
That's worth the pay-per-view alone.
Oh well, you don't pay for that, but
I'm saying like that's worth buying pay-per-view just to like support the fight week.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's all free content. You gotta pay for at least some of it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, for argument's sake, yes.
Anyways, let's move on. Edgeline Laura coming back for revenge against Canelo by facing his brother.
Oh man.
Yeah, didn't you see that, Foo? This is a joke. This is ridiculous.
This is funny.
This is great. Guys, this is the best story of the day. I want everyone to understand how great this story is. Because Laura is still upset about that scorecard, and he is so petty. He didn't come after Canelo's brother, Ramon Alvarez, who is
the same one that Brandon Rios beat up?
Yes,
the same.
yeah. Yes.
Headliner for Showtime card by any chance?
I would assume it is. But I will say this, Rob, because look, you are like me. We love pettiness.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate level of petty. To come back and want revenge from a fight you lost years ago, like almost half a decade ago, probably now, by facing his brother. I love this story in every way. Go, Laura. Get your revenge. Viva Laura. Viva Cuba. Let's go. But
to raise the pettiness, maybe has Canelo got a sister? Fucking hell, this is just beyond the joke.
Nobody has more brothers he can bring out of retirement.
Oh my god.
There's 2 other Alvarez brothers that aren't boxing at this point in time.
I hope Canelo's brother wins, and then he has to go for another brother. Try and go down the family tree. Right, fuck it. How's his granddad looking?
How's his granddad looking?
But yeah, whatever. This isn't going to be one I hope ITV pick up.
Definitely going to be a Showtime main event. Fu, your thoughts on Laura versus Canelo's brother, Ramon Alvarez? Super fight of the
They're going to be
decade.
the hashtag Lara Canelo's brother. The ultimate respect has been shown.
Oh man, that's like when your wife is like the more popular person in the relationship, and people just go, "Oh, you're like Robin's husband" or something, you know?
I feel like Fu is speaking from personal experience right now.
100%. You know?
And Fu, let's be honest, we're not surprised by that. You're an asshole. Of course, Robin's more popular than you.
That's funny.
Just like I would assume Viggy's more popular than Rob. Rob's off in sheds doing weird things, man.
It's Robin's husband. Is he a librarian?
Or
Is his name Andrew? I can't remember.
Is it
Andrew?
Only his friends would know something like that.
No, I'm excited to see Lara fight, because Lara fights are always good, but not always good, but he's a great boxer. So, having him back in, but it's probably going to be a trash fight.
It's going to be so
especially after you saw him fight Rios and get beat. I mean,
it's fucking Rios. God.
My goodness.
And that's probably going to be Showtime main event right there. World Championship Boxing. Let's move on, though. Second to last topic of the day. Then we'll go to callers, 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Eddie Hearn coming out here and saying Callum Johnson versus Joe Smith Jr. are probably going to happen in the U.S. next. I like that. Both guys lost respective championship fights.
Mm-hmm.
Both guys are pretty basic, but are exciting basic fighters in that way. I think this should be a fun fight as long as it lasts. But yeah, good fight. That's probably about all I have to say about it. Should be a slugfest. I'm probably going to pick Joe Smith Jr. in this fight, but probably he has better wins. He has better wins.
Me too.
Johnson probably has looked better as of recent, but that's mainly due to just Smith being inactive more than him actually looking bad, I would say. Rob, you seem to have a different thought about this fight. Any thoughts on this?
No, I think it's a good fight. I really like the fight. I just think Callum Johnson might come out on top. That's all.
He might.
Maybe that's a little bit of flag waving going on, but I just feel I wasn't that impressed with him against Joe Smith against Bivol. He didn't look very good at all to me, Joe Smith.
He hurt Bivol though, multiple times, like
he landed
2-3 times.
Whoa. 2 or 3 times?
Wasn't it 2 times? Like he hurt him like 2 times. One time he nearly put Bivol down. Luckily the bell rang.
One time for sure. I don't know maybe about 2 times, man. I don't know about that.
I think Smith is definitely the favorite going in that fight, though.
Well, he might be, but it doesn't mean you can't pick the other guy.
Your heart pick.
Fu just,
UK flag back there. I see it.
Right.
I love this Fu that's also like trying to mess with you, Rob. Usually it's just me.
I don't. It's fine.
It's fine, guys.
It's fine.
It's fine.
What's the hippie flag behind Fu anyway?
Yo, that's definitely not his. That's Robin's. Because Fu's too boring to be hippie.
This is the room where I do yoga, guys.
This is the
where I do yoga. And eat hummus.
Do arts and crafts with your feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I make clay pots like in Ghost.
Like in Ghost. What? What a deep callback to that fucking movie. Let's move on. Last topic of the day. Let's go to callers before Fu talks about doing yoga in that room anymore. Student Fulton pick up a big win off TV. Shout out to PBC not showing their undercard. It's calling out Daniel Roman and Guillermo Rigondeaux. Obviously, the Guillermo Rigondeaux's in-house. I think that would be a fantastic fight. And that could be like an FS1 main event too. Like you could do something with that fight in more ways than probably. Not that you can with Roman, but like Roman's. Like, no offense to Daniel Roman, but he's just not he's not a name still. Like Guillermo Rigondeaux is still a name, and that means something. Even with Rigondeaux coming off a loss and then a huge layoff and one win, he's still more relevant. If that makes sense in a weird way. Maybe not relevant, but he's still more meaningful. Thoughts on this last topic, guys?
None, but I've got one more just to finish.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I have thoughts. Hold on, I do.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was going to leave the window open for you.
Phil?
I think Regan Dow is obviously the bigger name. Like, 2 gold medals are always going to put you in, especially hardcore categories. All of our viewers are probably going to think a Regan Dow fight's bigger than a Daniel Roman fight, minus the belts, obviously, right? So, I like both of those fights. But I thought, isn't Rigo supposed to be moving up to 126, or did he just do one fight at 126?
I think he did one fight at 126. I don't know.
I was really hoping he was moving up.
I don't know I don't think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But anyways, guys, let's go to callers 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, call us on Skype. Mix Combat Radio. Santi, press 1 to get in the queue. I see you there. Rob?
Or we could do that topic that I just...
Oh, that's right. I thought, I'll be honest, I thought that was a joke.
Oh, no.
I think
just so people are aware, Tommy Fury, Tyson's brother, his fight has been cancelled June 15th because he's going on a reality TV show, Love Island.
Let's go to callers. Gary.
The same one that Amir Khan was on, just so people know. But in a really nice touch, he dumped his current girlfriend to go on that show where you basically have to crack onto as many women as possible to stay in the show. So
good for Tommy boy over there. Let's go out to Gary in Dallas. Gary, what's up?
That's some high-class TV you guys got over there, Rob. That's a heck of a show.
Yeah, don't talk to me about TV, guy. I don't think.
Yeah, come on. Look at U.S. television.
I wanted to start with Jamel Herring. So I agree that he needs a victory lap, right? I mean, he's 33. He finally got to the top of the mountain. Let him make a hometown title defense, whatever. And then this is what I was thinking, and you guys let me know if this seems realistic to you. Because Shakur Stevenson's not going to win any title at 126 anytime soon. They move Stevenson up to 130 to have him take the belt from Herring.
I think Stevenson has enough fights at 126, and they're probably bigger fights.
No, but who's he going to beat to get a title at 26?
He doesn't need to beat anyone. It's in-house.
Of course you do need to beat someone to win a title.
You mean win a title? Sorry, I thought you said get a title shot. I thought you said get a title shot. He could beat Valdez, beat Warrington. What are you talking about?
Okay, I mean, beat Warrington? He's not beating Warrington. Not now. Okay, Valdez. Okay, I mean, there's the one you might be able to get, but that's not going to be like.
What do you mean that's not going to be what?
You think Valdez sucks? I don't know. Like, Valdez is really good, Matt.
He's good, but he's definitely beatable.
120.
He went life and death with Scott Quigg.
He's hittable, for sure.
And we've seen that Shakur Stevenson is a fantastic boxer. Look what he did against Christopher Diaz. He won every second of that fight. Every second.
Chris Diaz got blown out by Ito, who just lost to Harry.
He did not get blown out by Ito. That was a back-and-forth fight.
Was it a back-and-forth fight, or was it a one-sided beatdown where Diaz stood up to it? I'm trying to remember. I remember the fight, but not in great detail. I thought it was just like Diaz took a hell of a beating.
I'll put it this way. I don't remember it in great detail either, but from what I remember, it was back and forth.
It may have been. Was it back and forth, but mostly one-sided?
No, because I remember coming out of the Shakur Stevenson Christopher Diaz fight and going, wow, he did to Diaz what Ito did not. I remember thinking that. And maybe people in the chat might correct us, but Gary, I think Shakur Stevenson is absolutely a top-notch level fighter at this point. He may not have the win to prove that he's a contender, but he has the skills to prove that he's a contender. And he could easily beat Valdez, in my opinion. Warrington's a tough fight, but Warrington's a guy that's all pressure, no power. So I could see Stevenson outboxing him. I could, absolutely.
Okay, if Warrington fought Stevenson next, you would take Stevenson?
Yes.
Really? Rob? Talk some sense into your boy.
Warrington, Stevenson. I picked Stevenson.
Warrington. Too much pressure, volume.
I'm with.
Power's not enough.
So?
That matters.
I never really had power.
I understand that.
And it's got him this far.
Yeah, but he's never fought a guy with great boxing ability and great power. Shakur is that. Lee Selby, great boxing ability, no power. Carl Frampton, great boxing ability, no power.
Warrington, great chin.
Does have a good chin. He does have a really good chin. That's why I think it goes to decision. But I think Stevenson outboxes him and wins 7-8 rounds.
We'll see.
But quickly, because Rob wasn't listening. What about Valdez? Stevenson versus Valdez.
I think he's got more chance of winning that one.
Would you pick Stevenson gun to your head?
Why is it so violent?
Why is it so...
Just tell me I have to pick one.
Because even then you don't pick. So gun to your head. Let's go.
Maybe lean Stevenson.
Jay in the chat, Jay Willett saying with a hot take saying Kid Galahad beats Warrington. Whoa, okay. Okay, guy. Let's not get ahead there.
Let's see.
I don't get why you guys are down. Like, Warrington?
Warrington's the best 126
he's had an amazing 12-month run. Like, really? Okay.
He did. He was arguably fighter of the year last year, Gary. Beat Lee Selby, Carl Frampton, had a great run. Absolutely. But I think Stevenson could be something special. Like, that's the difference.
Okay. Has Stevenson taken apart and stopped a world champion like Brandon Figueroa has?
What world champion did Brandon Figueroa do that to? Remind me.
Escondón.
Oh, that was right, yeah. That was a good win. Probably not. No, there's no one on Shakur's resume that's like that.
So he hasn't been as impressive in his brief career as Figueroa's been.
I would push back on that. I would say he doesn't have an impressive win like that. That's very different than saying his career hasn't been as impressive. They're two very different parameters.
Okay. Sure. I guess that there's a level of subjectivity.
No, not subjectivity. It's just the framing of the discussion matters. Like, Brandon Figueroa has the better win because Oscar Sedone is a bigger name than anyone on Shakur's resume. But to say that Brandon Figueroa is more impressive throughout his career thus far because of that sole win, that isolated incident, I think might be a mischaracterization of the framing of the argument. That's all. Because talk about who has looked better throughout their career means different than who has the best win.
Okay. Figueroa has a better resume, yes?
Sure. I wouldn't say he's looked better.
What was that?
I wouldn't say he's looked as good to me as Shakur. He hasn't passed the eye test in the same way.
He stops everyone he fights.
Cool.
Correct?
Cool.
Okay. So Stevenson doesn't have the knockouts or the wins.
Gary. Arta Beterbiev stops everyone that he faces. Do I think that he passes the eye test as much as Dimitri Bivol? No. But Bivol goes to decisions. But do you see how that really doesn't matter as much?
No, I'm just trying. So he doesn't have the wins and he doesn't blow people out like Figueroa does. Not that he doesn't blow. He beat Diaz one side. I had 100-90. Was there any knockdowns in that fight?
Which fight?
I had Shakur in the Diaz. Did Shakur Stevenson knock Diaz down at all?
I'm trying to remember. Maybe once. Maybe once. But maybe.
But I agree. Stevenson dominated that fight. Won every minute of the fight, basically, right? 10-0 shutout. But he doesn't stop them. He doesn't walk through them and break them down like Figueroa does. He just outboxes them.
Yeah, but Figueroa is a guy that's extremely hittable. I think he's also a guy that's beating up a lot of smaller guys because he can suck down to that weight right now because of his age. I want to see what he's like when he faces guys probably more of his size when he goes up to 126, 130, 135. Those are also things I want to see from Shakur as well. But again, I just think that Shakur, we talked about this on Championship Round, Gary, about like Mario Barrios versus Devin Haney, right? Why there's a perception difference. And obviously there's things that are outside of the actual fighting that lead to that perception shift or the difference. But also in ring, like the flair of a style matters. Shakur has a flair to his style. While Figueroa is exciting in terms of knockouts and finishes, he is extremely basic. He has come forward. He is in straight lines. He is hittable. Maybe people aren't really interested in that. And maybe that doesn't really carry over for the hardcores because they want to see that extra quality, the extra flair to their game. And Figueroa really doesn't have that. Similar with Barrios. And that doesn't mean they're not great boxers or great prospects, but it means that people aren't automatically gravitated to them in the same way. And, for those that didn't listen to this 2 championship rounds, patreon.com/Mixed Radio, I made the comparison to Marco Antonio Barrera and Prince Nassim. How, obviously, look, Barrera beat Prince Nassim. Who's more known to this day? It's still Prince Nassim. Why? Because of his style, the way he did it. Regardless of knockouts. I know you're going to come back with Prince Nassim got knockouts. That's not why he was best known. It was the style, the flair to his game, the flair to his boxing style specifically, his in-ring fighting style. Shakur kind of has that. Not to the Prince Nassim level, obviously, but in comparison to Figueroa, Stevenson has far more flair to his game than Figueroa, and that's why people are going to gravitate to him more. Plus, Stevenson, outside the ring, has been pushed since he was 16 years old as an amateur boxer. He has a silver Olympic medal. That matters, and Figueroa doesn't have that. So there are a lot of things why people are more known or more pushed.
I'm not saying, okay, so when I look at Figueroa, I look at a more finely tuned, smaller version of Antonio Margarito, right? A featherweight Antonio Margarito. Is that a fair comparison, do you think? He's probably a little sharper skilled than Margarito, but make Margarito a featherweight.
I mean, obviously not the same in terms of career and what they've done, but
no, just as a fighter.
Yeah.
Compare his.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Was Margarito a star? Yeah. Right. People love watching Margarito fight. So what I'm saying is, like, Figueroa's style is fan friendly. I mean, we could sit here and say, like, okay, Barrios, you're right. Barrios' style might not translate to a lot of people. Okay, but Figueroa, a guy that throws 100 punches around that doesn't take a step backward, I mean, I think his style, but you're right. I mean, Barrera was never really a star. Barrera was always, the other guy was always a star, whether it was Pacquiao or Morales, right? The other guy was the bigger star. But you're right about, I don't know why Barrera wasn't a bigger star, but
I don't know if Margarito is the best comparison because Margarito had the classics with Cotto, the obvious controversy surrounding it, and plus he was in a generation with stars. Like, we almost need to put that that time and that era in like an isolated category. To be honest, like the Mosley, Margarito, Cotto, Mayweather, Pacquiao,
Williams.
Yeah, like that entire era, man. Like that, you have so many fucking gigantic stars. Think about it. Cotto was a minor star in that era, and he was doing 300,000 pay-per-view buys.
Yeah. Cotto, Mosley, Mayweather, Pacquiao, all the same weight class at the same time.
Like it's so hard to compare that in real sense. Like, but I do understand your point in terms of just pure fighting style. Figueroa is like that in terms of the aggression, the volume, the way he puts combinations together. But he just needs to get the wins against relevant people. And he also needs a push. That's another thing. He needs a push. I don't think he's really received that yet. And that matters.
I wanted to get back to Shakur Stevenson because you would say if you wanted to get him a belt, in the next 12 months, you would try to get it off Valdez.
Yes.
That's the route you would go?
Yes.
Okay. See, you think Valdez sucks, and you think that you put Valdez lower than the rest of us and Stevenson higher than the rest of us. But what would be an easier fight for him? Herring at 130 or Valdez at 126?
Probably Valdez style-wise, in my opinion.
Okay.
Herring is a good boxer. So, like, Shakur would not only have to deal with a size difference, a weight difference now, a new weight class, but also a guy that's really talented in terms of boxing. Valdez is really one note, and still to this day, one note with his ability and his approach. I do not see the Eddie Reneso Canelo rub off on Valdez yet. I just don't. So I think Shakur can outbox him far easier than he could Jamal Herring. I think Stevenson doesn't have the power, let's say, to knock out those guys. I think he has to outbox him and win rounds. And Valdez, he would have an easier time outboxing and winning rounds.
That's also why I think I would pick Valdez over Stevenson, especially right now, just because Valdez will put himself in harm's way, and I think ultimately he would hurt Shakur Stevenson. Like, I just would still pick Valdez and Warrington over Shakur Stevenson at this point. I think he needs to prove something on higher level competition.
What has Valdez done in his career? Get a broken jaw against Scott Quigg? What has he done? Being a bunch of no-names from Mexico? They pull from Tijuana? Like, what has he done?
I mean, I don't know, but what's Shakur Stevenson done?
But he's a prospect. He's not a fucking champion that's been reigning for how many years?
Which is exactly why I would still pick him over Stevenson at this point until I see him do something bigger, because he's not been in a situation with a champion. He's not been anywhere that would let me know he could handle the fire when it comes, because it's going to come when he steps up into those fights. I think he's a little ways out still. I just don't think he's ready for those fights. I agree with Gary on this. I think you're underestimating Valdez too a little bit, but I don't tout Valdez as like super high. He's very hittable, but I just don't think that Stevenson has the power to keep Valdez off of him. He has.
I don't think it matters about the power. I think Shakur's boxing ability is so far better than Valdez. Like, it's levels above Valdez. Valdez was trying to outbox Scott Quigg, man. Like, think about that. Scott Quigg was bowling fucking Oscar Valdez around. Scott Quigg, guys, come on here. Scott fucking Quigg bullied him around, broke his jaw. And all of his other wins are against people that you don't know.
Scott Quigg was like 140 pounds, wasn't he?
No, he was fucking massive, man. He did not care about that weigh-in.
He fucked up the weigh-in and thought, fuck, I ain't even trying.
Nah.
He just have a nice big breakfast.
I think Valdez has been a product of the Top Rank machine. And I think it's pretty clear. Just being honest. Like, think about the Top Rank diet. I'm going to go through his resume right now. He just beat Carmon Tomoson. Have you heard of him, Fu?
That's my paisan. That's my paisan.
Fu, have you heard of this guy? Fu, I'm coming at you, Fu. Don't hide. Don't look at your phone. You're ignoring me.
No one.
Wait, what's his name?
I had never heard of him.
Carmen Thomason.
No, because these are all going to be guys we've never heard of. You're right on that. Like, I'm not disputing your point, other than that I think if you really get down to brass tacks, has Shakur Stevenson ever been in a situation where he has been hurt in the ring and had to come back? And I think with Valdez, he would find himself in that position.
But neither has Inoue, and he's fucking pound for pound.
Yeah, but Inoue's been through like fucking 4 weight classes and like beat all the champions.
Understandable. Shakur has faced good competition.
But he has not been through 4 weight classes and fought all the champions.
Phil, do you really think I'm making a 1-to-1 analog there? Really? Don't be stupid here. Don't be the people in the chat. Be smarter than the chat, please, Fu.
I'm just saying that was you're
But
comparing
no,
the two.
I'm not comparing the two, Fu. I'm comparing the logic you're using here. You're using the logic of Shakur has never been in trouble, therefore I cannot trust him. That's your logic. That's the fundamental point of your argument against Shakur, right?
Okay, got it.
Am I wrong there?
No, that's
okay. Okay. Inoue has never faced issues at all. Yes, he has been far better competition. Yes, he has done all that stuff. However, he has never faced any issue, never had any trouble. He has steamrolled everyone. He's pound for pound top 5. You can literally make the argument right now with that same logic and say, well, how can you have Inoue pound for pound? He's obviously beaten no one because he's never been in trouble. Because that is now the barometer for greatness is that you have to face trouble.
So I'm not saying being in trouble makes it. Here's a difference. Inoue has the power that puts people out of the fight. Shakur Stevenson does not have that.
And I've never said he did.
Well,
did I ever?
That would be my point here.
90
and
seconds.
Fu, I have directly countered that before with, awesome. He doesn't need to outpower Valdez. He's going to outbox him because he's levels above Valdez.
Yeah, I think his boxing ability is above Valdez because I don't think Valdez is that great. Like, he doesn't have great head movement. He's very hittable.
Walks in straight lines.
The difference would be...
Can't fight laterally.
Here's the only thing that I would say is that if Valdez hurts him, how would Shakur Stevenson act in those moments? That's what I want to see from him. And I think he needs fights to prove
Man,
that.
if fucking Genesis Cervenia, Miguel Mariaga, and all these other fucking cats can make it all the 12, Shakur Stevenson's making the full 12, guys. Stop. He's going to be fine.
Mariaga was kind of known for his toughness, though. Not that Shakur Stevenson isn't. I'm not shitting on Stevenson. I like Stevenson. I'm just saying I don't know that you can just say he's going to beat Warrington and Valdez.
No, I fully admit the Warrington one's a stretch. But Valdez, come on, guys. Let's be fucking honest about Valdez and what he is at this point in time. He has fought one time in 2019. One time in 2018. Okay?
10 seconds.
Last time he was relevant was fighting Mariaga when he fought 2 times in 2017. The guy's inactive, has been dealing with a broken jaw, has really been a poor fighter recently, hasn't improved ever. And he's a really basic one-note guy that has been sheltered by Top Rank. And it's pretty obvious he has been, guys. The one tough fight he was in, and to be honest, it's fucking Scott Quigg. It's not Carl Frampton. It's not Lee Selby. It's not Leo Santa Cruz. It's not any of the real tough guys in the division. Scott Quigg, he got beat up. So I think the perception of Valdez has been completely manipulated. Gary, sorry, I know we totally hijacked your call.
You're right. You look through. I'm looking through it now. Valdez's resume. Valdez is already 28, so it's not like he's a young champion. Like, he's 28. This is as good as it gets. This is the middle of his prime. Sabania, Marriott, there's not. Yeah, I mean,
like his second best name is Gradovich.
It's not. It's not great. I mean. That's kind of right. Like, it's kind of been hand-picked for him. And I like Genesis Savannah, but, that's not... And that was a really competitive fight, too, right?
Super competitive.
Down in that fight?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really fun fight.
Let's see how much...
I could see Valdez causing a lot of trouble for Shakur Stevenson, but I could also see what Matt sees and have Shakur Stevenson just style on him and outbox him and be off the back foot, schooling him around the ring. I could see that too. But I could also see Valdez tracking him down. I could see that does get him in trouble. We don't know how he's going to respond. And that doesn't mean he's not going to respond well. It's just that now you have to respond against the best fighter you've ever fought. That's what makes it difficult.
Hopefully we find out soon because Shakur Stevenson is ranked number 1 now in the WBO. So he should be... Valdez is mandatory, right?
Well, there you go. I guess we're going to... I had no idea he was ranked that high.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, if Teofimo and Devin Haney and all those guys are ranked super high lightweight, yeah, Bob Arum is getting Shakur ranked high.
Yeah, he was the new rankings today.
I bet Michael Collins ranked number 1 by some sanctioning bodies.
Last month, Shakur Stevenson was ranked number 6, and this month, without fighting, is number 1.
Who, when he was number 6, do you have like who was in front of him? Do you have that list up by chance, Rob?
Let me go by.
Because I'm curious who were the 6 guys ahead of him, who got bumped down.
Number 1 was Derek Gonzalez. Christopher Diaz was 2. Oleg Malanyovsky.
We beat Christopher Diaz, so that makes sense.
Jesse Magdaleno was 4, and Kyle Frampton was 5.
Okay, I mean
Michael Conlon 7. So let me look at where
Michael Conlon 7.
Let me see where he is now.
Gary, we're gonna go back to you. Don't worry, man. I just want to meet you because your kid was crying. Or we'll go back to you, Gary. Don't worry. To wrap up your call.
Someone just said to Gary's kid, "Did you know your dad picked?"
You know, your dad picked Terry Flanagan to beat Breeders' Progress.
Yeah. Michael Conlon has moved up to 5.
Ooh.
Frampton 4. Magdaleno 3. Gonzalez 2.
That's not bad. Makes sense. But anyways,
Diaz went down to number 15.
Good, because he looked like he sucked in that fight. Gary, sorry, back to you, man.
Yeah, my point was I thought putting Stevenson up to 130 was the easiest avenue to get him the belt, and it was also probably the most lucrative. Both him and Herring are both from New York, or the New York City area. I know he's from Newark, right? But you could make that fight at the Garden. It would probably sell really big. And then you could keep him at 130 and sign Gary Russell Jr. and then make that a mega fight. So I thought it made sense, and it was safe for him to go to 130. But you know, you're probably right.
You think Herring is a bigger money fight than Valdez?
If you put it in the Garden in New York City, I mean, I would think they could pack that place out. I think so. That's what I'm saying. Get Herring one more win, showcase him, have him take a victory lap, build up his name, and then sell Herring and Shakur Stevenson at the Garden.
All right. I mean, I don't agree with it, but you make a point.
Then I guess it was just really Fu. You weren't into, and I'm not huge into it either, but a Luis Ortiz rematch, you don't think he fought well enough where he deserved the rematch, especially given the fact that AJ and Fury aren't. That doesn't look like it's going to get made anytime soon. I mean,
I want smoke.
Who would you rather see?
I mean, I would rather see him fight someone new, like a Kalnaki or somebody.
Will.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not interested. Like, yes, it was a good fight until he ended Ortiz. And do I think the Ortiz that then went on to fight who? Trevor Bryan after that? And then, Kaufman. Sorry.
Travis
Kaufman after that. And then fought who next?
Christian Hammer
next. Like, that Ortiz is going to be competitive in the next Wilder rematch? No, I don't. I think Ortiz is going to get laid out early in this fight. It's just not going to be any fun.
I do feel Ortiz kind of the guy that is a little demotivated when it's not. Do you know what I mean? He sort of fights to the level of his competition sometimes. So, but yeah, I'm not even. I think Ortiz gets done quicker this time around.
It just seems weird. I don't remember who saying this for sure, but I'm certain he did. When AJ was trying to fight Ortiz, then that was like he was being the man. He was taking this huge talent. He was fighting the best guy up. But when Wilder fights Ortiz again, it's like, that's not such a good fight.
No, I don't think I ever said that.
Okay, you didn't say that?
No, I never said that. I said when AJ was fighting Big Baby Ped that he was essentially fighting the best fight of the 3 top heavyweights. But when that fight fell through, I didn't say anything really about Ortiz except for that Ortiz dropped the ball and lost $7 million.
That was also in the context of Wilder Brazil, not Wilder Ortiz.
Yeah.
And I wanted Joshua Ortiz because Wilder said anyone that beats Ortiz gets to fight me. So that's why I wanted the Ortiz fight. And I
Okay.
think Joshua would have done it in round 1, so the equation could have continued.
Let me ask you this, fool. Lose Ortiz versus Big Baby Miller. Who wins that fight?
Yeah, man, I don't know, Gary, because like
Don't
back.
Stop it. No, yes, you do.
Stop,
Yes, you
stop,
do.
stop,
Yes, you do,
stop.
no.
Are they allowed? Are they both allowed the peds they use?
Yes.
Yeah, no drug.
Yeah, no VADA.
Get to be on the good stuff.
I mean, I think there's a time frame where Ortiz would win that fight easily, but now I don't know that. I think Big Baby Miller's a tough out for anyone. I thought he was going to be a tough out for AJ. So I don't know. I don't know it. I don't know that I'm as enamored by Ortiz as you are. I like him. You rate him very highly as a heavyweight. It's different
I think
for
I'm
me.
fourth. Like I think everyone has him fourth or fifth. I don't think like I'm saying anything.
No, and I don't
odd
think
here.
I'm not shitting on your opinion. I just don't really hold him that high a regard. I think he's just aging badly. In his last fights, he hasn't looked like the guy who could really challenge anyone at the top.
Yeah, it did not look like the guy that fought Wilder.
Shit happens when you reach 50.
And you can't take blood pressure medication anymore.
No. All right, guys, that's all I got.
Thank you for the call, Gary. Looks like that's going to be it. Santi is not pressing 1, unless he did and I didn't see it because the thing is not there. So Santi pressed 1 really fast. Otherwise, you're going to head out here. Zulu, you haven't called in, so it looks like we might have no Zulu today, guys. I know that's depressing. But anyways, guys, looks like it's going to be it. Let's get out of here. Final thoughts, Fu.
Final thoughts. There's not a lot of good fights being made. Best thing we got coming up is, I guess, what? Is there any fight to be super hyped about right now? I don't know off the top of my head. Obviously we got AJ fighting, but
I like Pacquiao Thurman.
Yeah, I think that could be really competitive, actually.
But
at least a couple of rounds.
Hype is a peculiar word with a weird definition that changes.
Yeah.
So it's a good fight, but no, we don't have a single big mega fight on the horizon in boxing.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got some. I guess Taylor versus Pursoon. That might be something to be hyped about, because that could be a good fight. That could be a good test for Taylor, maybe. But she's gonna win. She's a standout.
So we're just not we're not gonna use the term hype though, right?
No, not hyped. No, you're right.
Great fight. No one's hyped for it.
Yeah, let's hope for some good stuff to be made. Oh, well, I guess when they make Taylor and Prograis, we'll be hyped for that, right? Or you'll just think Prograis is going to steamroll him, but
I don't think those two guys are really known outside of fucking degenerate hardcores.
So yeah, you guys can find me at Fugati MCR. All fucking things you can play with on your phone: Instagram, Twitter, all that shit. Yeah.
That was such a weird way to put it.
I'll be mad behind on everything and posting 6 days later about fights, but it's good talking to you guys. Great show.
Okay, cool. Rob.
The fucking verbiage was whack.
Yo, Fu a little rusty, man. He's been gone for like a week. He's in the apple orchard with you, dancing, frolicking about.
And I have a mad stuffy cold or something.
Yeah, I could tell you were sick, but I didn't want to dwell on it because be mean.
He sounds better than he did earlier in the week. Sound like death, man. Damn. Yeah. When you're fiddling around with your phone and shit, you can find me on there somewhere at UK Rob MCR. It's a Joshua fight week, obviously, so I'm sure there'll be some more heavyweight chatter to talk about. But you were going to talk then, Matt? What?
No, I'm going to let you go.
Oh, you said.
No, I backed away. I backed away for a reason.
All right. But yeah, hit the thumbs up. Check out our lists of what did we have. We had the best top 5 pound for pound punchers, top 5 pound for pound defensive fighters, and top 5 UK prospects as voted for by myself, Matt, and Fu. Anyone wondering why Buatsi isn't number 1? It's because the 2 Americans don't know shit about UK boxing.
Or we're more hardcore UK fans than you, Rob. I think that's actually the case, right, Fu?
That's true.
It
is true.
It's all
because you know what? Anyone can say Buatsi, okay? Anyone can
that's
say
the easy answer now, man. It is
the easy answer. You have to really have a love and appreciation for the sport to go with Cordina.
You gotta bleed the fucking Union Jack, man, to fucking know Cordina.
So people are aware. Matt asked for a list, right, of your top 5. So you put in a list. Then Fu sends a list. What is that?
I think that was Blog Talk saying, fuck you.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as the hell.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Fu sends a list which had Josh Taylor on it, who is the current IBF fucking world champion. So there's a prospect straight away. And also, so he went, oh yeah, all right then, done a new list, changed the whole order of his list because Matt had put Cordina, Matt living up to his hipster tag, and then he went, oh yeah, I'll do Cordina as well.
Why are you acting like that's a new thing? I've always been a Cordina. I've always been a Cordina hype, a fanboy, man. You've always known that.
Here's the thing.
No, hold on. Since the day we have met, Rob, you have been more of a Josh Kelly guy, and I've been more of a Joe Cordina guy, and that's fine. You know, we're on different sides of the block for fandom in the UK, but you know what? We all live in a happy UK community, saying yes, UK prospects are awesome. Go check out that video. And Cordina is the fucking truth. Sorry, Rob.
Also,
deal with it.
If I had listed my list from 1 to 5, do you think I really would have put Josh Taylor as my bottom prospect?
Yes.
Why is he in a list of prospects? It doesn't matter what you put him in your list. It's the fact he was in a list.
The easy answer is The easy answer is, Rob, is that Fu is a casual. He does not know.
I don't know anything.
That Taylor had a belt or got a belt from Branson.
I absolutely knew Taylor.
He just thought that was a fight. You know, he's like, okay, cool. Like, that's a cool fight. He didn't know that was for a belt. I don't blame him because, like, all those champions are vacant champions that won it after Terrence Crawford moved up. Doesn't really matter. But regardless, Joe Cordina is the fucking truth. And he could beat Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez on the same night and be the true greatest lightweight prospect right now. Yeah, I said it.
Which, by the way, when you listed all the possible fights I felt bad. You included Loma and everything, but no Campbell. It's all right. We're doing a UK thing, but you didn't fancy.
Well, because he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose
every single possible fucking lightweight in the top 20, except
not every possible lightweight. I named like 3 established names. I named the other prospects. Quit your bitching.
Anyway,
it's the longest fucking outro ever.
People in the chat. Tell us what other list you would like us to, for us 3 hardcores to
2 hardcores and a casual.
5.
2 1/4.
Do our own vote. I think there should be a pound for pound list of current fighters.
Yeah, the list is done. I just need to write the script, do the video, all that fun stuff.
Well, you could get the historian or the librarian to help you out with the script. With the, his great verbiage, but
my verbiage is off.
Tell us in the chat.
Neither of you guys can say the fucking word right.
Verbiage.
The verbage.
Is it? It's fucking verbiage. I'm telling you.
It's verbiage. Fucking clowns.
Hey,
you know what? That verbiage is really harsh. I don't like it.
Yeah, verbigetarian. I didn't know what that was. But yeah, tell us what list you'd like us to do. And we can get to work on that and have our little vote. There could be some arguments in the chat that we've got going on and correct Fu that no Fu, that's wrong.
Champions aren't prospects. I know we have to tell you that now.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.
Find me and my Hunter MCR all platforms. What else? Yeah, no final thoughts on the topics. You all heard our thoughts. Have a great day, great night, wherever you're listening. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. $1 a month, $12 a year gets you extra content, extra shows every week. And also, I think me and Fu, unless Fu's going to chicken out, are going to be back here in a few hours doing a live and free Game of Thrones season wrap-up or series wrap-up for our Special Training Now show. But anyways, guys, have a great day, great night. Peace.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Stay off the weed.
You disrespect boxing, you piece of shit?
I took lower risk and high reward, so we already know where I stand at in this situation.
I mean, maybe that's your job, but where I come from, you know, people like that get slapped.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?